Shalom. It's good to see you once again. This week, as we've been looking at our Torah portion in Exodus chapter 31, we saw that God called some people to build a tabernacle, his dwelling place here on earth. When he did so, he said, here are the descriptions of the talents and the skills and the wisdoms that I need for the people that will build a tabernacle. And he said, but first and foremost, what is needed is people who are filled with the Spirit. God went and gave the description of what he needed, and then I find it interesting what he followed it up with. After discussing this, what he needed to do the job, he said, Moses, tell the Israelites, you must observe the Sabbath. It is holy to the Lord. Holy. It is set apart and devoted for sacred use. After sharing this important task with the people, this is what I need, this great important job to build my dwelling place on earth. He said, Moses, tell the people, don't forget to stop and rest. This is a common problem. People sit there and say, I can't take the Sabbath off. He says, I've got this job. I've got an important project to get finished. If I don't get it finished, I'll lose my job. And then what will happen? We'll go bankrupt. I'll lose my home. And then how will it be? I'm working on this great medical discovery, and it'll save lives. I just need to press on a little bit longer. And after a while, when this job's completed, then I can start worshiping God on the Sabbath. Yeshua said, we weren't made for the Sabbath. The Sabbath was made for us. It's God's gift for us. And God says, I know you need to remember this, that the Sabbath is a gift for you. Let me share a personal story. Back in the fall of 1984, I was student teaching in Rochester, New York. I was up until at least midnight every night of the week preparing for my teaching the next day in school. After a little while, I got involved in a local congregation, and they said, oh, Ron, great news, Wednesday night youth group. You need to come out and be part of youth group. And I said, gee, it sounds great, fun, spiritual stuff. It'd be wonderful, but I just can't do this. I'm up already past midnight. If I went out to youth group, I wouldn't get to bed till 2, 3 in the morning. I felt the Lord speak to me and say, Ron, you need to go, and you need to trust me. And that if you will observe this time, it wasn't the Sabbath, the seventh day, but if you will still devote this time for sacred use and give it to me, I will honor you and bless you. I felt the Lord challenge me to do it, so I said, all right, I'll give it a try and see what happens. I went that next Wednesday to youth group, and from then on, I got to bed every night at 11 o'clock, at least 1 hour earlier than I had been getting to bed all the time before this. God was faithful when I observed the Sabbath and I set apart this time for him to give my body rest and to meet with him. God was good. He was faithful, and he honored me and blessed me and took care of me as I honored him. Tonight begins the Sabbath. I want to encourage you. You've got a lot of things going on. Tonight, tomorrow is the Sabbath. Yes, the things you're doing are important, but God says, I know they're important, but honor the Sabbath. Keep it holy, set apart for me. And so over here, I want to encourage you. Tonight, the time is coming. Grab your talit. Grab your yarmulke, get it on, and stop everything else you're doing. If there is a Messianic synagogue near you, get there. Honor the Sabbath and meet with the Lord, because that's more important. I mean, imagine he told this to Moses when they were building the tabernacle, Lord, the dwelling place of God on earth. Nothing could be more important than that. And God said, take the day off and meet with me. As I close this time, here is the sound. You get to a Messianic synagogue tonight, this is probably what you'll hear to set apart the time, to call and assemble the people to worship. And so as we look ahead to the Sabbath that's coming, hear the sound of the shofar. Shabbat Shalom.